Life with Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy. Guillaume Duchenne was a French neurologist who in 1868 had the most comprehensive description. He had studied 13 cases of Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, or DMD, but was not the first to report it. It had been previously noticed by a Scottish surgeon named Charles Bell and an English medical doctor, Edward Merrill. Duchenne, however, called it pseudohypertrophic dystrophy, referring to the apparent overdevelopment of the calf muscle. A century later, the disorder was named after him. Doctors, watching the patient's muscles waste away, believed it was caused by a diet problem. Dystrophy comes from the Latin and Greek words meaning faulty nutrition. The family you see here is the Middendorf family, and they live in Cincinnati, Ohio. Miss Erin Middendorf, on the far left, in the dark blue, was my 7th grade science teacher. She and her 2 sisters all have Duchenne-like muscular dystrophy. You'll be seeing them throughout the video. DMD is the most common and most severe type. The parents are missing portions of the gene, and the deletions can be in different regions. The severity relates to the specific location. The gene makes inadequate amounts of the dystrophin protein, which keeps muscles intact. Males almost always develop it, but females are usually just carriers, as they have a second healthy X chromosome. The Middendorf girls, I say, are Duchenne-like, since only males can get it. The doctors have also mentioned limb-girdle MD, but no one's sure of which type they have. Since it is inherited, there are no known preventions. These are the Middendorf girls when they were young. As you can tell, sometimes it can be really hard to detect. But as the child grows, usually before age 5, muscles in the legs, arms, and trunk begin to weaken. The child may be late in learning to walk or have larger than normal calf muscles. It's a progressive muscle weakening, so the enlargement of muscles is normal. They may even have difficulty of climbing stairs, trouble running, walking on the toes or balls of their feet. They might have balance issues, all different types of things with muscles and movement. Learning disabilities are also an issue, but it's not because of muscle weakening. It seems due to a dystrophin deficiency. Symptoms in later years include severe muscle deterioration, so most of the time people need to use a wheelchair. There can also be body distortion, muscle contraction and stiffening, which is often severe, lordosis, and scoliosis. Impeding development of scoliosis helps respiration, but breathing difficulty is extremely common, which results from chest deformity and respiratory muscle weakness. Around age 10, there is a gradual decline, so impaired pulmonary function and respiratory failure are major causes of illness and death. People with DMD usually die in their late teens and early 20s. We're really blessed to have the Middendorf girls around in their late 20s. It's really exciting. As far as research goes, at the University of Minnesota, scientists, through genetic repair and cellular reprogramming, have generated stem cells which are capable of muscle regeneration in mice with DMD. As they watch the injured transplanted muscle repair itself, they've proven that they have fully functioning muscle stem cells. Antonio Filaretto, PhD, and lead author on the study, says these are very exciting times for research in muscular dystrophy. No drug significantly improves strength in the long term, but steroids like corticosteroids can help relieve muscle weakness. Creatine supplements may reduce fatigue and increase strength. Drugs for heart problems may also be used if needed. But steroids can weaken bones, so vitamin D and calcium supplements should be taken as well. Other lifestyle modifications include physical therapy and exercise, which prevents permanent contraction and stiffening. Wearing braces in the early stages can slow spine curvature and may help with movement. Surgery may even be needed to release painfully tight muscles or a pacemaker for the heart. Miss Middendorf, the one that's my science teacher, has had surgery for scoliosis to help her spine from pushing forward and backward in her body and from side to side. In later stages, people might also need a ventilator because of the pulmonary decrease, but deep breathing exercises can help. No known dietary modifications directly affect DMD progression. In homeopathic and alternative options, there are a fair amount of choices. With homeopathic, medications like Amica can help muscle pain and spasm relief, and Calxaria carbonica can stop lower extremity cramps, and magnesiaphos can also help with muscle pain and spasm with cramps and severe shooting pain. As far as alternative medicine, people with DMD need to eat as healthily as we do. They need to eliminate potential food allergens, avoid refined foods, eat lean meat, use healthy oils, etc., to make them as healthy as possible. Exercising lightly could also help to keep the muscles a bit stronger, but because dystrophin isn't there, it's not like we build muscle. It's still a decrease. Vitamins and supplements, like I've mentioned before, can also help, but the muscles will still always decrease. The effects on the family, especially the parents, are very judgmental. Those of the newly diagnosed are understandably extremely overwhelmed. Parents often blame themselves or each other, and they may carry a sense of guilt for years, which could pose a threat to healthy family function. The Middendorf parents have both had heart attacks from the stress. They, every day, have to lift the girls in and out of bed, get them to the bathroom, get them cleaned up in the bathtub or shower, get them in and out of their wheelchairs, everything you can think of they have to do for them because they have 3 daughters with extremely weak muscles. One of my other substitute teachers saw them at a restaurant one time, and their mom has to actually push the cup to the edge of the table and they have to drink out of a straw because it takes them forever to reach for a cup. So it's really, really tough for them to just do things that we take for granted because they're so weak. Life at home, like I've just been explaining, is pretty tough. They'd be most comfortable in houses that are wheelchair accessible. The Middendorfs actually tried for Extreme Home Makeover but didn't win. So they're going to keep trying for similar things, but it costs way too much money for them to adapt their house or get a new house or anything like that. It's really, really tough. Economic costs specifically for DMD have not been reported, but it ranges anywhere from $13,000 to $32,000 a year. Griffin, the dog you see on the right, is their dog, and he loves chasing the girls because the wheelchairs obviously have wheels on them and they're motorized. So the wheels are really soft and I guess fun for him, so he chases them around the house and then sometimes they scatter in 3 different directions and he doesn't know where to go. And it's crazy because he loves the wheelchairs. But they actually also have 6 wheelchairs in their house because while one is charging from the day before, they use the one that already has been charged. So they have a lot of heavy equipment in their house just to get the girls around. They also have a modified van that's wheelchair accessible for everybody so they can load the girls in and take them places and drive them to school and things like that because all 3 of them are teachers. So obviously, since all 3 of the sisters are teachers, they all have college degrees. Um, I believe when I was in 8th grade, Miss Middendorf was going back to college for her master's, so that was interesting because she would have homework and then lesson plans and everything for school, and then she'd help her sisters with stuff. So the mom every day would come and pick them up and make sure they had coats on if it was winter time and different things. And the teacher, you see to the left, Mrs. Horse, was with Miss Middendorf. But all the teachers, really love her. And my 7th grade language arts teacher actually had Miss Middendorf as a student. So that was really cool. They have like a little modified desk for her and everything, because different things you don't think about they have to accommodate for, because she's in a pretty big wheelchair. So it's interesting, that's for sure. But in class, she doesn't really like help, because she does want to keep her muscles as strong as possible. So it's interesting, that's for sure. I'm so glad I got to present to you guys about my teacher. It's been a couple years since I've seen her, but I still talk to her on Facebook. I talked to her on Facebook for this, and I've seen her sisters a couple times. I've met her mom a few times, but I haven't met her dad. So it's really, really interesting, and I'm so glad I got to talk to you guys about her, and you guys now know more about muscular dystrophy and everything. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and I can always ask her, because she is super open. She was fine with talking about it, because she does have to mention it the first day of school, because we all know she's in a wheelchair, so she's been pretty open the whole way through, actually. So if you guys have any questions you want me to relay to ask to her, no big deal. So thanks for watching, and thanks for listening, guys. Bye.